What is going on, everyone? My name is Northy and today I'm here for the round 21 team coach preview. My god, we are so far into this season, but round 21 is just upon us. Tomorrow night at the time of recording this is when round 21 is out. But today I am going to be trying my best to finally get a Star Powers prize card. That is still the one I need. I've not gotten a single one all year. Bit of unluckiness on my end, but also some days where I've just picked horribly and just even picked people who didn't play, which is just unacceptable. So I am really going all out for this Star Powers prize card, but this time around, we've got some solid teams. So Zach Merritt is going to be our supreme Star Powers player for the silver because he's up against the West Coast Eagles. So you'd hope that Zach Merritt, he got 140 last week. It seems to be whenever I don't pick him, he ends up having an amazing game. And as I do that, as I take him out of my teams, he goes ahead and drops 140, best player of the round. So let's hope he doesn't do it again and mess me up. We need him to do well this round. He has to do well, surely. Mighty Mids though, we're going with Bont again. We're going to stick with him even though he was nowhere near the top last week. There's still a very good chance he manages to pull out a good performance. I think there's a lot of potential players here who could do well, but Bont, although he had a poor one, for his standards at least, I am still hopeful that against the Tigers on Friday night, he will be able to have himself a good game. I don't see a reason why not. At Marvel, hopefully he'll be playing pretty well. Sharpshooters, I'm going to stick with Charlie. I feel like Charlie Curnow is a pretty safe option. Only real forward option for Carlton right now in the forward line. Obviously, Carlton at the moment are firing on all cylinders, so maybe we get another really good performance from him again. I think they come up against the Saints, so that'll be a good test for the Saints to see where they're at. We know that Carlton are back on track now with their wins against Port and Collingwood, so we will be seeing just how good St Kilda are right now. We need to see just where they're at. But Charlie, I'm hopeful he'll have himself another good game. Tex and Charlie seem to be the two everyone keep picking from this one because I don't see anyone else really having that good of a game. Man, Lance only the 8 points in his final one. Oh, that's so sad. So sad. You know, thanks for a good career, buddy. You did amazing. My young gun player this week is going to be Will Day. I don't have any real passage or process as to why it's Will Day. I just know he's off the wing. They're up against Collingwood, so he'll definitely be needed. Hopefully he has himself another good game like this. I honestly don't know. I think Matt Rao could blow up this round. I've got some kind of feeling with him, some kind of inkling, but Will Day is who we are going with. We're just going to go with the one who scored the most points last week, and yeah, he will definitely need to step it up this round, absolutely. But we go to Epic, and I think Max Gawn is the most solid pick right now. Max Gawn up against, that's right, North Melbourne. They're up against Tristan Xerri. So I'd assume Max has his way, unfortunately, with Tristan. It just makes me sad thinking about North Melbourne right now. It makes me so sad. But last round with Silver, we did quite poorly. So hopefully over 500, 550. If we get over 550, I'll be happy. It'll put us on a good path. But yeah, this is what my team's looking like. One half, please. Just maybe this one. Who knows? But Ultra, we got to hope that this one goes off. So this week, I'm pretty confident with my Ultra once again because I get to chuck Tom Green in again. He has been listed as in. He is playing the center position. So he is someone who's averaged a lot this season. I have no clue whether he'll be back to that standard straight away, but man, it'd be nice if he was. It's good though because it allows me to put Maxi Gawn in as my regular silver epic. He's been doing really well. I don't have his team Star Powers, unfortunately, but it'd be good nonetheless to have him there. Charlie Curnow, I've managed to find his silver and chuck his code in, so this week he will be my sharpshooters player for Ultra. Then we've got the double points players for James Sicily and Marcus Bontempelli. If we had a a Zach Merritt double, we'd probably chuck him in this week. But Sicily, he's still kind of consistent, manages to at least get me 100 basically every week. So he is somewhat safe, but we need multiple people to have really good weeks here. If Tom Green can have an absolutely amazing week, that'd be really helpful. Bont needs to have a normal game for his standard. 120, if he gets that, we're living well. And even for James Sicily, if we can get double points from him at his regular average, I'll be happy with that. But you can see here, there's a lot of players who are averaging just under what James Sicily averages. So I'm not too certain James Sicily is going to be the biggest scorer of the week. Jake McRae definitely won't, I feel like. He's actually starting on the bench, I noticed. I noticed he's starting on the bench, which is kind of crazy. But Ultra, we were better this with Ultra than Silver, with rank 172, over 700 points. But again, you need much more than that to reach the top 20 for this game mode. So you can see, top 20 doesn't show up, but it'll be just under 900, I'd imagine, is the top 20. So if we can aim for 900 here, I will be happy, which means everyone has to be firing on all cylinders. We have to see some really good performances. But we are going to move on to our top team. Now, top team is going to be super interesting. You can see, I don't have much faith in North Melbourne. I've got two Melbourne players in, Petraka and Gawn is my forward and mid. Gawn, I think, gets to stay because he's just been so good. I think we had Gawn last week, even though Golden beat him out. Of course, the week I take him out, he has the best forward round, but I'm confident with Gawn again against a weak side in North. Has a weak opponent in Tristan Xerri. I could only assume Gawn does well. And with that same logic, I've also got Petraka in as our midfielder. So would be nice to see Petraka have himself a good game down in Tasmania. We've chucked in Dawson and we've kept Marshall as our ruckman. No real reason behind Marshall. I just wasn't confident in choosing any other ruckman. I think Marshall could have a very interesting game. He's up against Mark Pitnet, so he won't be getting hit outs like super easily, but he gets himself involved on the ball so much. You can only hope that he continues to do that this round. Tim English is up against Toby Nankervis. That'll be really interesting to see if either of those two get on top of each other. Nankervis, at his best, does really well, and the same goes with English. I'm just hopeful Marshall can make the most out of not coming up against a pretty decent opponent. Jared Witts is up against Riley O'Brien, so like matchups on top of matchups this week. It's going to be really interesting. McInerney's actually out, Blitzarves is out, DeConing isn't playing. Loads of ruckman at this point in the season are just not playing, and so it's crazy to see, but there's it just means that there's a bit of room for error, I feel like. But yeah, our defender this week for top 4, Jordan Dawson. Again, no real reasoning behind it. I just like to think Jordan Dawson can play well against Gold Coast in the midfield. Hopefully he does. 134 points last week would be nice to get this week. Let's hope. I can only ever hope. This team, it's done me okay. Last week, not round 20, but round 19, we actually finished 20th. Which was a really good performance, but you can see dropped off to 206 with only 426 points last week. We got to try and aim for 500. That's realistically what we have to do in order to get the best possible chance at a prize card. Aim for 500, and I think this team can get it done in their best of days. We just need 4 really solid performances, and I think these guys can do it. My only question marks are maybe Marshall, but man, it always lets me down for some reason. We're going to go to top 18 though, and this is what we've got. A lot of interesting moves. We've taken out Mitch Lewis and chucked in Jordan DeGoey. I was thinking Charlie Kerner. I was trying to think where I could put him in the forward line, but everyone else I'm too like hard stuck on. The only one I'm thinking about changing is Luke Jackson, because Jackson, he is in the ideal position to have a really good round, but just over the last few weeks hasn't done so. He's only getting 79 points. I know he can do much better than that because he's playing as a ruckman and has freedom all around the ground, which in his best of games with that position will get high 100, 110, 120 point performances. But as of late, he just hasn't been doing so. It's been very interesting to watch. Shea, he's played as a midfielder a lot as well, but doesn't seem to get too many 100-point games. Although, as a forward, it's still at least good to see him getting high scores. Jay Gresham is one that I've thought about chucking in. Nick Martin has also been performing kind of below average. On that wing position, his best games, he smashes it. High 100-point games. But at his worst at times, he's a second-year kid from what I remember. So it makes sense that he's not terribly consistent just yet, but he will get there. Unfortunately, right now, though, we need him to play at his best consistently. So hopefully that forward line doesn't let us down. Backline usually doesn't let us down unless there's a few like really poor performances. Like I remember, who was it? Was it Sinclair? No, it probably was Stewart. Dacos doesn't have too many. Doherty will have the occasional bad one, but like I'm just trying to remember one that didn't go well. I think Will Day once didn't go too well for me, but it's interesting to see who we may see rise up to the top of the backline this week. There's usual people, and then there's the likes of Harrison Petty, who absolutely smashed it as a forward player. I don't imagine he does it again, but man, was Petty a sleeper last week. That dude absolutely smashed it. But obviously, the usual players that I like to switch in, Daniel, he's not in this week. Stewart, at GMHBA. He keeps his position, but I'm going to move to the midfield because midfield is always one of the hardest. So Rosie, I've actually taken out, and I've done it as a risk play because Rosie has actually been kind of solid. He averages 112, I think, for the season, and as of late has been getting average 100 points, which is fine, but we need to keep trying to push ourselves, and I think this is the week to make the change. Petrarca in against North Melbourne. Port Adelaide, I can't remember who they're playing against, but I don't imagine their opponent is as poor as North is at the moment. We keep Jack Steelan. He's been very solid for us as of late. Dunkley, Merritt goes in. I think I mentioned that, but just in case. Merritt is in. Do not play bad for me, Merritt. Please, please, please. Bont stays in. He's had one bad game. I think we can trust keeping him in once again. If not, we think about making changes. And like I mentioned, Rowan Marshall is our ruckman. Top 18 has been our best mode. It's where we've got all 3 of our prize cards for this year. But last week, 124. There's a lot of room for error in this game mode and many more spots in the top 20 for this game mode. So just over 100 points off, making it, yeah, we can make up those numbers if everyone plays to their best. But that's it for the top team and star powers modes. Let's do our tips very, very quickly. I'm going to kind of speed run this as best I can. Congratulations to the Eagles last week, but I think Essendon Topson this time. Don't need to say much about this one. Geelong versus Power. At the moment, it's a Geelong game. I think this is Geelong's to lose at GMHBA, although they did lose to Freo at GMHBA. Don't know what that's about. Freo versus Brisbane. I think this means it's at Freo, but I'm going to say Brisbane anyways. Hawthorn v Collingwood. Going to stick with Collingwood. Dogs versus Richmond. It is at Marvel. Going to stick with the Dogs. If it was at the MCG, I'd probably switch it. Carlton v St Kilda. I say Carlton just off of form. St Kilda haven't been too bad either. They are 5th for a reason, but I think Carlton, with their 2 wins against the Pies and the Power, and Saints nearly losses against both North and West Coast, I think it's safe to pick Carlton, although Saints definitely could take it. At the moment, I think GWS take this Sydney Derby. Sydney could take it as like a ode to Buddy, which would be great to see, but I think if we're being realistic, GWS at the moment take it. And then Adelaide versus Gold Coast at Adelaide Oval, it looks like. We're gonna go with Adelaide, but Gold Coast could be making a push here. I'd be interested to see if they manage to take that one. Those are my tips for round 21. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, are enjoying Northy's month of Team Coach, and are helping me hit 2,000 subscribers for that giveaway over there, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new here, become a member if you feel like it as well. That's always very much appreciated. No stream tonight, unfortunately. I am going to be a little busy helping out some mates with their videos and content, but thank you all so much for watching this video. Hope to see you all very, very soon. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.